Hello, my dear friends. As you are aware, I have a YouTube channel named Aspire32, and there is a webinar about managing curved canals, which I did maybe 1.5 year or 2 year back. And one of my viewer, Dr. Ram Kumar, has asked me a few questions. He has messaged me on Instagram, and I thought I will just explain these questions so that it can be helpful for everyone. His first question is, do we have to pre-curve before the glide, making the glide path? Now these are essentially two different things. A glide path is basically a space which is created before the shaping files are taken to the working length. For example, if you are using a pro-taper system, then in that case before S1 you would like to increase the width of the canal so that the tip of the S1 doesn't bind with the apex. If you are using 4% 17 as your shaping file, then maybe you would like to enlarge till 15 or 20 also, so that the tip, which is generally the weakest part of the instrument, doesn't bind to the canal too much, because that can increase the tendency of the fracture. Now, glide path can be done with hand, rotary. It's a very, very big discussion. But pre-curving is basically whenever you have a sudden curvature, or you can say that there is a ledge. During that time, pre-curve is definitely necessary. Now, it is a skill which you have to develop, and I have explained it in the webinar that how you can pre-curve the file. I think I have shown the image also. If you can master the pre-curving the files, then that's what makes everything very simple. The rotary files will just follow it. You can even pre-curve the rotary files, which I have explained in the tactile controlled activation as a technique in the webinar. So his next question is, can I play 17/4% after 10 number hand file? Now if you ask me, theoretically or something which is recommended for many years, no, you should not be doing that. It is not safe. Do I do it? Yes. Do many people do it? I'm sure many people do it. And recently there are companies which are manufacturing files which you can directly start with rotary even without using 10 number file. So we do it sometimes based on experience. Sometimes the canal is very wide. You know that the hand file is going so loose that you can directly go from 17/4. But there are difficult cases where you don't want to push the file. Long canals, narrow canals, extreme curvatures, I won't recommend it. I would try to work more with hand instruments or with rotary glide files before I go with the 17/4, because instrument retrieval, yes, it is nice to do that, but trust me, prevention of fracture of instruments is the best thing which you can do, and if you can follow that protocol, it is definitely better. How you can, if you really want to do it, then maybe use 17/4 in less number of cases. Judge the case difficulty properly before deciding whether you should do that. Which file system is good? I personally like Nuendo Flex, because I have worked on it for many years. Before that, I was on a different system which were basically larger file system. They were in austenitic phase. They tend to fracture a lot because martensite makes the files flexible and makes files more resistant to fracture. They are much safer, but you may have to compromise in cutting efficiency, but that's okay. Preventing the instrument fracture is more important. But rather than asking which system is good, you have to understand the concept. There are concepts like no file system can be bad or can be good in all situations. All file systems comes with some good aspects, some bad aspects. Like for example, you can have a single file system, but it might struggle in narrow cases. You can have a 17/4, but it can perform very well, but you know how to use it. There are various ways. Sometimes we mix and match. But I would advise you that you use something which is heat treated, which makes file fracture slightly less. Is there any new modification in the technique which I have discussed? Not really. You can do your own experiment. You can modify. There are so many things. Endodontics is a very, very big branch. A small case can be discussed, managed in various different ways. Nowadays, instrumentation is very straightforward. You can do a 10 number hand instrument followed by a glide, followed by a 17/4, then 4% 20, and then continue, unless it's a large canal. If you have any other system, then the discussion is based on that system which you are using. Then the last question which he has asked is that, what is my view on crown down and step back? Trust me, even if you want to do hand instrumentation today and you are not well versed with rotary, you can take the benefit of rotary and then do hand instrumentation. For example, taking rotary in apical 1/3 is a challenge because it binds, and that is where people get scared. But let us assume you have a 19 millimeter canal. You can simply take a 6% rotary file or a 4% and just go till the area where you meet the resistance. And till this area, the instrument fracture chances are very less, and then maybe remaining canal you can do with hand instrument and continue with the whole process at hand instrument. So I'm not sure whether you understood this, but even if you are going with that original concept of step back, that is not needed. You can do hand instrument with the crown down technique. So crown down technique is better. All files are made that way, and that is the current. It's a present and maybe the future. I hope that answers all your questions. If you have any questions, you can mention in the comment section, and the webinar is there on my YouTube channel. Bye.